Welcome to the Truvisionaries 2026. Today, I'm joined by Madeleine Raiford-Holland. Madeleine, how are you?
I am wonderful, Leo. Thank you so much for having me. What an honor to be nominated as a true visionary.
Congratulations, and it's well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Today, for our audience, I'd like to ask you 3 quick-fire questions. So let's get right into it. Madeleine, how and why did you get started in the short-term rental industry?
After university and after college, I ended up becoming a COO for a government contracting company. While I loved the position, I felt like I was earning somebody else or making somebody else a ton of money, but I wasn't really building anything for my family. And so I had had some experience with long-term rentals and really just decided that tenants and toilets were not for me. The ROI wasn't there. But like so many real estate investors, I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I knew that real estate was something that I could dig my teeth into. So while I was COO, I was traveling hundreds of nights a year, and I started a lifestyle website called Moderately High Maintenance. It's where I shared recipes, home decor, all sorts of things, and I ended up building this amazing community of people who were like-minded. So when I was like, how am I going to get into real estate? How do I leverage the experience that I've had as a COO? How do I leverage the experience from this lifestyle website? And what if I create a short-term rental or an Airbnb, because I wasn't familiar with the term at the time of short-term rentals, that takes all of these things into account. I can take the brand partnerships and the relationships that I've had from this lifestyle website, put it into a physical property that I can give people an experience. And so I started my first short-term rental where I live in Athens, Georgia. A lot of people may know or may not know that it is the home of the University of Georgia, and we have a big American football presence here. It's a pretty decent team, but it creates a lot of demand. And so I launched in the height of Georgia football, and I was so wildly successful that we launched 5 more in 6 months because it was just taking off. Because of my COO background, I knew that I did not want to create another job for myself. So I put in systems, processes, automations to where I could run this portfolio of properties. At that point, it was 5. Now it's up to 20. In just a few hours a week. But since then, my husband and I have left the 9-to-5s, and people started recognizing our success and how we've done this business quite differently than most people out there. And so once I had my time freedom from the 9-to-5, it being gone, my properties are over a 7-figure portfolio, but it's run in less than an hour a week. I knew that I wanted to help other families create that same time and financial freedom. So I started coaching and mentoring other people how to do the exact same thing. So that's a bit of the origin story from start to finish to our journey for short-term rentals.
Tell us, what's the one thing that hosts are not doing that they should start doing today?
They should be making their properties shoppable. And what I mean by that, I mentioned that lifestyle website that I started in this business. My business is MHM Luxury Properties, but because I understood how to leverage affiliate marketing from that lifestyle website, I created each and every one of my properties to be able to guests to shop their stay. And I earn hundreds of thousands of US dollars a year from people shopping the sheets, the towels, the little things in there, because right now most people go to Amazon to buy things. It's rare that people get to touch and feel products. So when you can do it in a way that's providing a service to folks, you can add not just your booking revenue, but you can also have additional streams of income for your property, essentially turning it into a cash cow just from the one property.
I love that. That's a really, really smart bit of advice. And tell us, where do you think the industry is heading going into 2026 and beyond?
In 2026 and beyond, I think we're going to see 3 things. I think that we are going to see the industry continue to professionalize, meaning 5-6 years ago, people could put any property on Airbnb, Vrbo, any of the platforms, and it would take off because there wasn't a lot of expectation. It was still relatively new. And I think what we're seeing is not an Airbnb bust. I think we're seeing professional hosts rise to the top, and the people who were hobby hosts, which is what I call them, are going to continue to decline. The second thing is AI is going to become even more important in your hosting. Hosts who leverage AI the right way to understand who their guest avatar is, what their guests are looking for, and use it to optimize their systems and processes are going to continue to improve. And the people who don't adapt and don't start using it are not going to be as successful in the industry. And then the third thing is, I think other gurus out there who are in the real estate space, whether it's creative finance and, boutique hotels and other things, are going to continue to talk bad about short-term rentals because the industry is continuing to grow, even though they're saying that it's a bust out there. I think people are going to continue to talk bad about short-term rentals, even though the ones of us who treat it like a business, who are protecting our assets with things like Truvi, and who are providing an elevated guest experience and doing this business right, become more successful, they're going to continue to loop us all in with the hobby host and try and say that the industry is crashing.
Very, very interesting. And I very much agree with some of those points on the trends. And I think you've hit the nail on the head.